Hello, everyone. Welcome to the episode 6 of the Small Language Model Show. This is Malikeh, applied NLP researcher at Arcee and co-host of the show. Today, we are here with another very exciting news, launch of Arcee Cloud, our hosted SaaS platform. And interestingly, today we have all the founders on the call, and I think this is perfect time to start with short story about Arcee, and I'd be thankful if everyone start with an introduction about yourself and how Arcee came to be. So I think this is the first time Brian is on the show. I wanted to start with him. So hi and welcome to the show. I'd be thankful if you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about Arcee's journey.
Sure. Thanks for having me. So Brian Benedict, one of the co-founders here at Arcee. Background has been probably, I guess, non-traditional for a founder, but been more on the sales and go-to-market side. So my entire career, I've been really more in disruptive technologies, kind of spanning everything from NLP technologies, AI, social analytics, to even machine learning. And then most recently coming from Hugging Face, where I was the first head of sales, where I met Mark, and where the two of us kind of started thinking about the journey of bringing something adaptively unique into market in the AI space.
Awesome, great. And Mark, can you also introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your part in Arcee?
Mark McQuade, CEO, co-founder, Arcee. As Brian said, got early. We were early in this game, right? Early hires of Hugging Face, pre-ChatGPT, if anyone remembers that world. So, learned a lot. Obviously, Hugging Face is an amazing company, and decided that we could go out and do something on our own here. So we started Arcee about a year ago now, and here we are on a mission to enable efficient training on model merging to everybody, to the world. So
great, awesome. And Jacob, you're the last but not the least.
Yep. Hi, everybody. Jacob, co-founder, CTO. My background was RoboFlow, which is an end-to-end computer vision platform where you can train and deploy CD models. We trained hundreds of thousands of small CD models there on the RoboFlow cloud, and teamed up with Mark and Brian here, who at Hugging Face, they saw all these people who wanted to train language models and needed more support in terms of infrastructure as well as guidance on exactly what routines to run, and that wasn't really the mission of Hugging Face. And so we teamed up to build a platform that could allow you to do those things.
Great, thanks everyone for sharing the story and your background. So I think it's time to return back to the main topic. So Mark, can you start with an introduction about what Arcee Cloud is about and what it brings to the market?
Yeah, happily. So Arcee Cloud, Arcee, we had a strong initial focus from our product perspective, from continual pre-training, supervised fine-tuning, and model merging. Really, the emphasis on model merging, right? We own MergeKit as a library, which is the de facto way to do model merging nowadays. Model merging itself is a very novel technique to fuse multiple models together. And we wanted to bring that capability out of the dev world, the GitHub repo, and into the hands of organizations and enterprises. So we built the stack originally to run entirely in a customer's virtual private cloud. It's a software stack that is deployed via infrastructure as code inside your environment, and it stands up all the services, and you can run it. And that was really, really beneficial and resonated a lot with enterprises that had a lot of data privacy and security concerns, right? They did not want their data to ever leave their cloud environment, and that was a big hit, right? We had a lot of success early on, but what we came to realize really quickly is a lot of companies don't have that kind of data privacy and issues, and they are looking for a less kind of heavy approach to utilizing these great routines of model merging and training that we built. So with that, we're building Arcee Cloud, which is essentially a hosted version of our in-VPC deployment, and we take care of everything, right? Where when we deploy it in your VPC, it's your compute. You have to handle the scalability and the infrastructure and the complexity of that, and we just provide a software stack. Where here we actually provide everything, right? We provide the infrastructure, the backend, the DevOps, and the entire stack. And all you have to do is sign up and start training and merging models. So We're really excited about it. Launch is coming in a few weeks, and we've had a lot of interest from the community on utilizing this new cloud offering that we're bringing.
Oh, great. Sounds super exciting. So yeah, this is a question for you, Brian, because on a day-to-day basis, you're in touch with clients and you see the actually untapped supply and unaddressed demand in the area. So I wonder, how do you see the business value of this Arcee Cloud compared to what is on the market? Because like, as a researcher, I see a lot of pain points in how to domain adapt these models in terms of the trade-off between accuracy and efficiency. There are many, many different factors. So from the business point of view, I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think there's a big misconception around training models just in market, that training models is expensive. And the misconception is really, aligned to the fact that a lot of the early stage or like V1 AI vendors that are out there that are doing like pre-training and training really are way more costly to actually do this type of work. And I think given the techniques of what we've actually built here at Arcee has provided a much more cost-effective manner to do this type of training. And we have a lot of different routines that we can inject into these models for companies to really utilize. And I think that gives us a huge advantage to helping companies meet them where they need to be in terms of the work they're trying to do. And so I feel, regardless if it's a startup or a middle, pretty much medium-sized business or a large enterprise, I feel, really confident they're going to be super excited about Arcee Cloud because it pretty much has something for everyone in terms of the packaging and in terms of what's available and meeting them where they are on that AI journey, which, quite frankly, has been quite different, I think, over the last 6 months than probably the previous 6. So yeah, pretty excited to be out there with this.
Yeah, fantastic. So from the technical point of view, Jacob, actually, there are many different building blocks in this end-to-end pipeline, from continual pre-training, model merging, and like till the end evaluation, like training, merging, deployment. So between these all, I see something very unique to our product line, which is model merging, and we had like many sessions on it. I just wanted you to talk a bit of its role in how it helps with overcoming the challenges of domain adaptation and like something that has really a major role in overcoming the challenges and pain points of adapting these models to different domains, different use cases. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's definitely one of the most unique differentiators of the Arcee Cloud offering, right? Which is cloud merging. And cloud merging is a completely new concept to the field of different, LLM offerings. There's a lot of people who are offering different fine-tuning services and deployment services, but merging is really kind of this key portal into extending the open source LLM that really helps you get around a lot of things that you previously struggled with. For example, when you were pre-training models, everyone would kind of try to replicate exactly what these general language model providers were doing, where they would pre-train the model and they would need enough text to do that. So that's hard in and of itself to get that much text. Then you would need to have enough alignment data like they would, and you'd have to try to replicate the alignment routines that they would do. That's very, very hard to do. Those data sets are not open source. But merging lets you merge back into that checkpoint and you recover all of those gains from the general checkpoint that you're merging into. And so it makes it a lot more extensible, and in that way solves the problems of catastrophic forgetting of those deeper techniques that would generally take you a long time to recreate.
Yeah, totally agree. I think that's a very unique and super exciting addition to the product, because like when this domain adaptation happens, we saw it in many different use cases in practice that the model actually forgets about its actual very beginning general chatting knowledge. And on the other side, what is actually there is that there are very good open source models out there which are doing great at chatting. They have chat capabilities, they have reasoning capabilities, and we don't want to lose them. And on the other side, we want to inject domain specific knowledge. And this model merging is just a performance booster in the between that like helps us to keep this trade-off between those two. And I think I'm also super excited about this part. Yeah, sounds great. So when it comes to specific domains and use cases, actually, this is a question for everyone. When it comes to clients, when it comes to especially non-technical users of our platform, do you have any suggestions for them? Because some people come with limited set of data sets with a specific format and they expect magic from the model, but like I think the data set is a fuel of this pipeline, and I want to get I want you to share your technical insight into it and your advices that what people should actually expect in a realistic way from these models.
Sure. I guess I'll go.
You want to go? I was going to say you go. Yep.
Yeah, sure. I'll go. I would say, the thing that, is really kind of what we see out there in terms of clients of all different levels is having a goal, a set target of what they're trying to achieve. I think a lot of times the target is probably higher ambition than actually what their data is actually collectively going to be able to achieve. So making sure that they're in alignment on, what is the goal that they're trying to achieve with the LLM? How are they trying to actually, utilize that data? How do they see it after it's built to being utilized, whether it's continuously trained or if it's a one-shot kind of POC or what they're trying to do. But I think a lot of times there's kind of a, champagne kind of eyes on something with really not that much of behind the scenes from a data perspective to really kind of get it in the shape in which it needs to be. So spending the time on the data, I'd say, is a pretty critical path that we would love to see more of from the prospects and clients that we work with today.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's the very beginning point and the very end point that are so much relied on domain expertise of the users. One is the data, which is the fuel, and the other is the evaluation part. And I think that's a collaborative work that if they come with a good data set, high quality, enough amounts of data, and enough is so much in line with what kind of model is going to use and how for what purpose it's going to be trained and how it is evaluated is really what that should be planned ahead of time, and with small set of data set, something that is not clean, something that is not standardized, and something that actually doesn't add new knowledge to the model. We cannot expect magic of domain expertise being injected to the model. So yeah, that's great. Mark, Jacob, do you have any further thoughts on it?
Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's a good point. I mean, it's not a panacea. There's certainly use cases that you do not need to train a model for, and you should absolutely use a general checkpoint for. I think it's important to think about the areas that you are working to extend into a proprietary knowledge, whether that's proprietary corpora that you have, that's, if you have a very large trove of text that's, specialized to your business, that's something to be thinking about. Or if you have a specific business protocol that you want to be tuning into with fine-tuning methods and things like that, that makes more sense than simply, getting an AGI that's stronger than existing general chat checkpoints.
Yeah, and I'll say that, I sound like a broken record, but I'm a firm believer that, I think we all are, that all organizations are going to need to customize their own language models at some point in time, right? That's a very big kind of hugging face mantra, right? Is that organizations are going to need to own and customize their own language models. And, obviously general models have their purpose. They're great, they're powerful, but that shouldn't hinder you from owning and customizing your own models as well, and utilizing both in tandem, right? So when you have any kind of private proprietary data, which every single organization will have in some form or fashion, they'll have their own data. You should look at customizing a language model for that use case. And when you do it with Arcee, it's very cost efficient, and we can get your model up and running in a matter of days. So we're really doubling down on that trend of model customization, and organizations having tens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of models just humming inside their four walls.
Yeah, awesome. Great. Yeah, totally agree with all the points that were mentioned here. There are some different building blocks in our Arcee Cloud that, so because we have two different kinds of audience, technical and non-technical. So it would be great that we like each by each just give an intro of what each of these building blocks do. So we have continual pre-training, we have model merging, we have supervised tuning and DPU, and at the end of the day, evaluation. So it would be great if you give a brief introduction of how these end-to-end block-wise training works, and how at each of the points people can, like non-expert people, but non-technical people with domain expertise can come up with their own data for each of these like building blocks of pipeline to like hope for a good training routine. Yeah, that would be great if you just introduce in more detail what these building blocks are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the Arcee platform kind of rests on a few dataset core primitives. The first one is a corpora of text, which is just a large block of text. So anyone who has data in an S3 bucket, right, can utilize this. This isn't, you know, you don't have to have a PhD in, you know, AI engineering to be able to assemble a corpus of text and load it into the Arcee platform and pre-train a model. And then that feeds the pre-training routines. The other core primitive is input and output, or prompt completion, which allows you to tune the way that the model responds. So that's something you can also upload to Arcee, and then you can run fine-tuning routines. From there, another area that you can customize is a little bit in evals with those input and outputs for model merging. So model merging is going to take predominantly model checkpoints and a few eval tasks that you want to eval from, and then that allows you to create the model. But these primitives kind of go in a simple package into the different training routines that you can utilize with your own data and whatever setting that you want to use it for.
Great, thanks for the introduction. So there are two links which are shared in the chat with the audience. One is the link to our blog post about Arcee Cloud. You can check out all the details there. And also there's a link to the section on our website to see how we can get on the wait list to get access to our platform and work with it. And now, like, I just wanted to ask Jacob if you want to show a demo or a walkthrough of the platform to the audience, if possible, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So I'll go ahead and demo Arcee hosted site here. Let's see. Here we go. So this is kind of the end goal of a path. You guys all able to see my screen? Okay.
No, I can't see it, Jacob.
Not yet.
I can't see it. Could you guys?
I'll try again. Okay, how about now? You guys aren't seeing it?
Nope.
Okay. Shoot. It says that StreamYard is seeing it, so maybe our viewers can.
Maybe just talk through it.
Yeah, I'll just talk through it in this case. So.
Oh no, he said someone just commented, cannot see the screen.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
this takes a little while. Okay, cool. Yeah, so here's the deployment tab of Arcee. This is when you have finally created a model, you can deploy it here. This is an SEC merged model, which is trained on all the SEC filings and then merged back into, I believe this is a Zephyr general chat base. And here you can see I asked it about the Netflix corporate strategy, and it's predominantly drawing here from language and SEC filings, which is the area that it was to be grounded in. So that's deployment. That's an inference. This is where you can kind of post new queries, and you have deployment APIs that you can hit. You can also start new deployments. This is where you would start a new deployment. This is also available via API. You can choose the fine tuning that you want to deploy. And then here's kind of peeling back into the training routines. So you have pre-training routines, you have merging routines, and you have fine-tuning routines here. So the pre-training routines, this is where you're going to draw from, as I was saying, predominantly from a corpus. So in this datasets tab here, I have the Arcee Slack history. And so if I wanted, we've accumulated about 1.8 million tokens in Arcee of conversation. And if I wanted to inject that knowledge into the parametric knowledge of the model, I could create a new pre-training, which is Arcee Slack. And then I could say fine-tune Mistral 7B on this. And it's simple as launching a button. And here I'll launch it on a P5 instance that we have available for your usage. You can start pre-training, and then that will kick that corpus to the back end and pre-train your model on Arcee Slack history. So let's say I have that model done training. Then I have that model here completed, it's done training. Then I can either fine tune on top of it, or I can go directly into merging. So in the case of SEC merged, we merged into Zephyr checkpoint. You can choose the general checkpoint that you want to add from there, and then you take the models up through deployment. So yeah, that's a quick tour. There's a lot of other things you can do. Another thing that some of the more technical audience might be interested in is here's our REST API that you can hit. So there's pre-training routes, there's alignment routes, deployment routes, and merging routes that you can utilize to automate these routines within your APIs and your platforms. So that's a quick tour through the Arcee hosted platform.
Yeah, we have also a Python client, right, for those devs who want to interact with it. Everything you can do in the UI, you can do through our Python client, right? Understanding that engineers like to get their hands dirty and write code. So that's also an option. And I mean, it's worth calling. I mean, you have a lot of platforms out there, right, that you can do maybe, simple fine tuning, maybe pre-training. No one's really built a UI to do that, right? A lot of platforms just send you to an SDK and allow you to interact with them through code, which is great. I mean, that's what we have as well. But what we wanted to do was put an emphasis on that UI to allow people to seamlessly, do some clicking and, train a model, right?
You can monitor status and see loss and see results, and also helps you share this with your team and also collaborate on projects, right? That's it's a big design between the UI, which is like a real platform and orchestration system behind the creation of language models. That's something that the market has lacked, and what we have designed and brought to the process. Because as Mark said, every organization is going to need to be creating these models, and they should probably have a streamlined software solution to do so.
Yeah, and Nick had a question. Yeah, Nick, it's similar to how you can fine tune GPT 3.5 on a custom data set, right? But yeah, we're focusing solely on open source models. Typically in the smaller space too, right? Like typically 7-8 billion, like Mistral 7B, Llama 8B, Llama 3 8B. Flexing up to Llama 70B, for those really powerful use cases. But yeah, I mean, it has the similar flow as fine-tuning GPT 3.5 on their data set. Although I'll say that GPT 3.5, when you fine-tune it, is not deep training, whereas we offer deep continual pre-training, which is knowledge injection. So it's a bit heavier from a training perspective, but you walk away with that model now being fully grounded on your data, as opposed to just instruction-based tuning from your data set. Is there a choice to choose the optimizer, the hyperparams, and the loss function? Great question. So we've actually had this come up a few times. We don't presently offer the ability to tweak some of the hyperparameters and the loss, but that is something we are actively exploring doing, right, Jacob? Like, we've heard that enough.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've heard the request enough. There was actually a PR this morning in exposing that, so that should be out there soon.
So we're not actually officially launched yet. So what you saw there is not a finished product. So maybe when we launch, that capability is in, because we're hearing it over and over.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for the demo. And so we have 5 minutes left. If anyone has any questions, you can just drop it in the chat. And I just wanted to say that like when you were showing the platform behind each of those tabs, each of those functionalities, there are hours of effort and work that our team put into it. And I just wanted to say thanks to everyone, the ones on the call, for making this happen, and like creating Arcee team, and also other than that, my colleagues that I see day to day, that how much they try to make this happen and make it a better thing on a day-to-day basis. So thanks everyone. So as a final thing, I don't see any more questions in the chat, but as a final thing, what's next? What's next in Arcee Cloud? And are there any new features upcoming in the next couple of weeks, months? So that would be great if you share that with us.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say one thing before Jacob, you can jump in for the new feature requests. From when we launch the cloud, there will be, a generous free tier that will allow you to go play with the platform and understand it. Base model merging as an example, right? Everyone loves to model merge, right? You can come into our platform and you could do your base model merging for free, right? So it won't be you won't have to pay any money off the bat. You can test it out and test out the platform and see the power of it before you do any commitments. So I just wanted to let that be known.
Yeah, the feature I'm most excited for is evolutionary model merging, which will utilize a lot of GPUs to automatically merge models as best as we possibly can, which is useful when you don't have access to Charles, who's the author of MergeKit, and he often has some pretty crazy merge configs that he'll come up with. It's useful to just find the optimal model.
Question there, Jacob, saying like, how are we choosing the parameters for the training routines? I think the training routine parameters are based on the base model that we're using. We pretty much stay static with, like, Mistral 7B as an example, Instruct V2. We have set hyperparameters that we tune using. But go ahead, Jacob. You can talk a bit about that. I mean, and when we open it up, you can tweak them yourself, obviously within reason. We don't want people to go in and blow up their model because if they aren't sure what hyperparameters to choose, yeah,
that's right. We're using base hyperparameters based on the base model, and that's nothing where we're doing like an automated hyperparameter sweep or anything like that ahead of time. And probably, as you mentioned, Nick, will expose those through API for everyone's utilization.
Yeah, actually, from the research point of view, I think coming up with a fully optimized hyperparameter that is very much customized to every model is actually an NP hard problem. So yeah, I think since the beginning of my work in the field, in every class, in every session I joined, someone was asking, how do you optimize the hyperparameter and get to the thing that is the best ever? It's not possible to search the parameter space for everything to come up with something that is the optimal of optimal, but we are trying our best in the research team to tune these parameters and come up with recipes that are good enough, working well on different domains. And we see the loss curves. We have a lot of metrics, both dominant specific and general metrics, just to take care of these routines. So these are the things that I said, like a lot of effort is going on in the backstage, and other than base, actually these parameters are being tuned, and the recipes we have are the ones that are working well. As I said, coming up with the optimizing is an NP hard problem, but we try to make things that work quite well to address these challenges in the field.
Nick has another question. Is there any limit on parameter count models which are supported on the platform? Yeah, right. So the limit we're going with initially, Jacob, I'll let you talk about initially. I don't know, we're still going back and forth if we go up, we flex up to Llama 370 billion on initial launch. But go ahead, Jacob, I can let you speak to that.
Yeah, that's right. The hosted SaaS in terms of everyone utilizing Arcee GPUs is going to be 8 billion to start. So that's a good definition, Nick. Then you can train larger models, but that would probably be feature flagged and takes a little bit more compute.
Yeah, so as a sign up, like as just a sign up, we probably won't enable like full continual pre-training of 70 billion Llama 70B off the bat, as an example, because that's a very expensive run potentially. But we will enable it as a flag and allow people to use it as they sign up. Yeah.
Awesome, great. Thanks everyone for answering the questions and attending the show. As the final word, Brian, do you have any further thoughts on the questions or the platform?
No, nothing more to add. I think everyone's kind of said it all so far today. So thanks for having me on the show. Great to see everybody.
Yeah, same here. Thanks, everyone. It was great to see everyone here. And thanks to the audience for joining. If there are any questions or comments which were left, we will follow up with you offline. And see you in 2 weeks at the next episode of Small Language Model Show. Thanks. Bye.